The eyes of the world were on America yesterday, where Donald Trump was sworn in as the 47th President of the United States. Now, many are saying that this time round we'll see a whole new Trump, and he proudly stated yesterday that he was saved by God to make America great again. So, big question, will he make America great again, Janet? And do you think he was... the assassination attempt. Do you think the assassination attempt has made him rethink his way he deals
since the assassination attempt, he seems to have a hotline to God, and he's got a new relationship with God, if nothing else. It's interesting, isn't it, that 20 years ago, nobody in politics wanted to say they were religious or they talked to God because it was embarrassing. And especially in this country, God was considered like, oh, don't do God. But now Donald Trump has realised that for his... in America, with so many right-wing evangelical Christian groups and so many really committed believers, that to say you've got a message from God is the icing on the cake, really. Now, what he's done in the first 24 hours is announced loads of things. And what a showman he is, to sit at the desk in the rally and announce all these things as if it's just a regular day at the office in front of 20,000 people. It was completely impressive. But, of course, putting it into action is a totally different prospect. He might have a majority in the Senate and Congress and everything else, but it's a tough thing to do to push through this amount of legislation. And we all know that the southern border of America is very leaky. So he can close the border, he can say no one's going to get through, but in my experience, that's what presidents have said in the past, and people will still get through.
But I think he thinks like a businessman, Trump, doesn't he? And I think he is very transactional. And I think he realises that he's got a mandate from a very large majority in America who I think are sick of hearing politicians say they're going to do something and then never do it. So I think if he even manages to push through 2 or 3 of the things that he's mentioned, that will be, you know, for the people who voted for him.
And the speed.
A good start.
The speed of, he might do that as well.
Yeah. And he's already had an impact in the Israel-Gaza crisis as well. I mean, you know...
But can he end the war in Ukraine? That's another big question.
Well, we'll see.
The thing is, you're right, Janet. He's saying he's going to do all these things, and we'll see. We have to wait and see. But I agree with Jane. I think that there are so many people voted for him because they believe he will do something.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of highlights in this country a lot of inaction, a lot of politicians, not just this current government, but previous governments, where they do a lot of talking, a lot of inquiries, a lot of quandaries.
The Tories were in for 14 years and didn't do a great deal.
Yeah. I think I worry about the fact that he said, you know, like he had this intervention, which, you know, we all have interventions in life sometimes that make us really take stock of our lives and think about where we're going, you know, whether it's illness or divorce or whatever, those big, massive milestones that happen in life. And he had a really close call. And he quoted God, and for a moment, I know from myself within the Christian community, there was this sense of, oh, is he going to find some kind of redemption? Is he going to change his ways? But then you look at his policies, you know, the policies on immigration, the policies on climate change, that, you know, he's going to start drilling again. They don't, for me, follow those lines and those Christian principles and morals. So, for me, it's like, it's saying one thing, but the actions aren't following that.
Well, yeah. And then, Janet, obviously, the other massive talking point about the inauguration was Melania's hat.
Yes, I'm sorry to bring it all down, but as a former... sorry to bring it down to a fashion level, but as a former fashion editor, I couldn't take my eyes off that hat. Now, what she did with the hat, that's so... I thought, by the way, her outfit was brilliant.
Stunning.
It was stunning outfit. It looked great on her, and it was, more important, an American designer and an American milliner that made the hat. But the hat served a really useful purpose. You couldn't see what she was thinking, you couldn't see her eyes, and Donald couldn't get anywhere near her. It was her very own exclusion zone. It's a Berlin Wall in a hat.
It's like Israel's Iron Dome, wasn't it?
Exactly. It's so fabulous.
Yeah, I just thought she was an absolute Dawn. She owned that space. You know, like it's silent and deadly. She said nothing, but the outfit said everything for her. I loved it.
You know what? It looked like an outfit for a funeral. And I thought, what the funeral is her privacy, her private life. She said goodbye to that. I think it was sending a message.
Yeah,
you know.
I thought it was interesting.
She's a style icon of mine, but I didn't like that outfit.
Didn't you, Jane?
Didn't like the hat, no, too severe. It looked like something from the 1970s, like an airline attendant from the 1970s.
Yeah, she did look like a little bit like a clothes peg wearing a hat.
But do you know what? We're all talking about her, aren't we? We're all talking about her.